Saturday, South Africa made history by finally winning an ICC event after 27 years. This is after defeating Australia, the previous champions, inside 4 days of the World Test Championship Test match final played at the home of cricket, the Lord's Cricket Ground. The first 2 days of the Test match was dominated by both the Proteas and Baggy Green's Pacers, with 14 wickets falling on day one, while on day two, 12 wickets fell. And as normal, cricketing experts globally especially those in the subcontinent, went on rants via social media blaming the pitch. Now, if this was a subcontinental pitch where the bounce is slow and it's known to be low turning, or should I say, if it was in the subcontinent where it's known for spinning tracks and rank turners, there would be major criticism. As for the pitch played at Lord's, it was a typical Senna, which is South Africa, England, New Zealand, Australia, which always has grassy tracks and all kinds of things. It was a typical Senna grassy wicket, which is known to assisting the faster and medium pacers alike. Australia, believe it or not, shocked the entire globe by winning the toss and electing to bat on what was a seamer-friendly pitch. Now, had they had bowled first, the result would have been 50-50, but who knows? But who knew that the South African Pacers would exploit the mishap that Australia caused by winning the toss and going out there first? Their Pacers, particularly Kagiso Rabada, back from a recreational ban, he struck early, dismissing Labuschagne and Khawaja, reducing Australia for 29 for the loss of 2. Then Steve Smith and Bew Webster anchored the innings, but Rabada's fiery spell after lunch, including a fifer, triggered a collapse. Marco Jansen and Luengi Ngidi supported Rabada, while Jansen took 3. Australia, they were bowled out for 212 in the 57th over. South Africa's reply began poorly. Cummings and Hazelwood exploited the conditions, just like what South Africa's bowlers did early on, reducing the Proteas to 4 for 43 at stumps, trailing by 169 runs. Tony D'Souza 9, Ryan Rickleton 10, and Tristan Stubbs 2 fell cheaply, while David Belgadem at the close, along with Temba Bavuma, they closed on 21 and 13 respectively. However, the next day when they resumed at 43 for the loss of 4, they crumbled under Australia's pace attack. Cummings delivered a masterclass, taking 6 wickets for 28, including the wickets of Adam Markram for 14, Kyle Viani 8. Bengalham was the only one that top scored for 45, but the Proteas were bowled out for 138 in the 58th over, conceding a 74-run lead. Australia in their second innings started cautiously, but South Africa's bowlers, led by Rabada and Ngidi, struck back. Labuschagne 27 and Khawaja 20 fell early, with Adam Markram dismissing Steve Smith for 26 via part-time spin bowling. At stumps, Australia had reached 144 for 8 after 46 overs, leading by 218. Alex Carey at the close was on 43 and Nathan Lyon was yet to score. However, on the next day, they were bowled out very cheaply, and then the Aussies set the Proteas a target of 282 runs, but South Africa's chase, powered by Adam Markram's century, put them in the driver's seat as the Proteas at the close reached 213 for the loss of 2 after 64 overs, needing another 69 to win the trophy. South Africa, the next morning before lunch, completed the triumph, reaching its target 3 deliveries before the luncheon interval. They had resumed on 213 for 2 from the overnight score, but lost Bavuma 66, Markram's 136, Tristan Stubbs 15, and Y. Muller's no score, who never got a chance to get off the mark, helped South Africa reach to 270 for 5. Then Kyle Viani 13 and David Bengalham 10 guided South Africa to 282 for the loss of 5 in the 84th over, winning by 5 wickets. Stark was to pick up the bowlers for Australia with 3 wickets for 66. Coincidentally, this was South Africa's joint second highest successful chase at Lord's, securing their first World Test Championship title and first major ICC trophy since the 1998 Knockout Cup, which is now known as Champions Trophy, in Bangladesh under the captaincy of the late Hansie Cronje. The South Africans took home $3.6 million, while Australia, as runners-up, took home US $2.16 million. Now, this test match will forever be memorable for Markram'S brilliant innings. Now, he was under immense pressure, not only from media but from former cricketers turned experts, and he showed them their place. I mean, like, seriously, Markram himself became a hero for South Africa on what was a historic day for the Proteas. Don't forget Kagiso Rabada's 10-wicket haul in the match that set up what was the deciding factor in the game. Now, I'll tell you this, as what someone was telling me on Saturday, the toss was literally the pivotal part that won the game for the South Africans. The mishap Australia made, and I'll tell you this, was their batters let them down quite significantly, and I would not be surprised if the Aussies do make changes in time for the Caribbean tour, which starts on the 25th. And with all the talk that going around in Australia, there is talk they want to keep Khawaja till the Ashes. Personally, I do not see that happening. However, on the other hand, what is sad for South Africa is they do not have any home test matches till October of 2026, which is a crying shame because, in my opinion, South Africa, they deserve more test cricket. The way they played throughout this World Test Championship was absolutely significant. I'll never forget the time where they lost 2-0 in New Zealand when they went with a B team. Now, some of those who were part of the B team graduated to the full member team, and that's how the South Africans won. They managed to surprise anyone on their day. Now, the Proteas, as you all may know, went through a decline a decade ago after the 2015 World Cup. They failed to qualify for the semi-final of the 50-over World Cup in 2019, but 2023. But once the 2020s came, let me tell you all this, once the 2020s came for South Africa, that's where the turning point came. Despite all the scandal that was going on with all the racism, the South Africans showed everyone why they're still a formidable force. I would not be surprised if South Africa starts dominating world cricket again following this Test Championship victory, but who knows? Only time will tell. So that's gonna wrap up this video. Hope you guys like it. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also join the conversation in the communities tab. I would like to hear more from you all. So until then, guys, take care and be good.